Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to start a new what if. What if Deku was a Titan shifter? So this is going to be part 0. Basically, I'm going to explain um, multiple things about the world, um, how Deku and the two others will get the Titan's power, as well as how they work in this world. So, firstly, out of the bloom, um, there is only 9 titans, and they are the titan shifters. They cannot create more titans and stuff like that. Um, except for, well, basically, I'm going to explain all of the differences to each of the different um, titans. Firstly, the founding titan. It cannot control titans because, well, the titan shifters cannot be controlled by it. It cannot create or modify the DNA of people, so he cannot erase quirk from someone or basically do a lot of stuff that in the anime Attack on Titan they say the founding titan can do. It can still communicate telepathically, but only with people that it knows. Um, well, that he is close to. So, yeah. Second, I will talk about the card titan. It's basically the same. It's fast. It doesn't have any attack. It can have multiple things on its back without being, well, without having any problems with it. Next, the Beast Titan. The Beast Titan is basically the exact same as in the anime, except that it's not 17 meters, it's only 15 meters, because there is no royal blood to basically boost them or stuff like that. You can still have access to the past, well, the memory of the past users, but it's extremely hard. Like, well, first, it's, how can I explain this? To be able to have the memory of a past user in this one, you actually need to or have a mindset close to it, or know exactly how he is, was normal thinking to actually access them. You cannot talk with them directly, but you have access to their memory. Okay, so next, the Warhammer Titan basically has the exact same powers. Female Titans, same powers. Basically, they all have the exact same powers. The only one that was really changed was the Founding Titan, actually. So, yeah. Except for the Attack Titan, that cannot see in the future. That is one last thing I want to change. Simply because, well, I don't see really Deku, because yes, he's going to get the Attack Titan. I don't really see Deku looking in the future anyway. So, the way this world works for quirks. In this one, since humans are there, humans and animals actually could get quirks. It was just extremely rare. To the point that most of the time when people got quirk in those times, well, people and animals, they called it magic, curse, blessings, um, and stuff like that. And it's actually what started myths and legends and other types of animals or species that were ex- that we call supernatural or stuff like that. Um, so in those time when people actually had one, they were or trying to hide it, well, all over history, or they were hiding it, or they were actually trying to make themselves look like God, demons, or stuff like that. So the nine Titan shifters, all of them appeared about 2000 years before quirks were actually called quirks. Um, they were all born from the same family. Um, there was five brothers and four sisters. I won't give them name because we won't stay with them for long. Basically, what was happening is that, um, well, the way they were was actually triplets, triplets, triplets. One of the group had two boys, one girl, which is actually was actually twins, and a third baby that wasn't born from the same egg. So yeah, basically, um, the ones that have the longest time difference is basically 2 years max. So yeah, um, each of them were basically born with it, but weren't able to use it for a good amount of time. So yes, in this world there are quirks, not powers that come from magic or whatever like that. Um, but they still have healing, um, a small increase in stamina, the ability to never get sick or stuff like that because the regeneration is massive. Like in 2 hours, you regrow your entire hand easily. Well, your arm, in fact. If you have more damage, it takes longer. There is a point where your body won't heal or can have trouble healing, but you never get permanent damage thanks to it unless it's something that will actually kill you. As well as there is no curse of Emir, so you can basically have it from birth and die with it from old age. First time one of them actually used the power was by accident. He was hurt, and basically where they lived, there was wild animals. The first one that used its power was actually the Jaw Titan while wolves were attacking. It was hurt and wanted to protect itself and its family and basically transformed. Since all of them had, well, since all of them had a small regen, they all knew that they had at least that part same, so they all tried to hurt themselves and see if they transformed. After a while, they all saw that they needed a goal in mind to actually transform, so all of them at one point transformed. The Colossal, 50-meter tall, um, all basically every Titans. For a good amount of time, they just thought that, okay, yeah, we have those powers, we don't show them to anyone, until someone else with a quirk, which basically over history there was around a 0.0001 1.32% of people with quirk practically all the time. So it wasn't rare, but most people or didn't know they had them, or knew they had them but completely hidden them. So yeah, um, someone else with a quirk that basically has the capacity to extend its mouth to practically any size it's wanted. Ate one of the Titans shifter while it was still in human form, and gained the capacity to transform. So the power is passable by eating, well, by getting spinal juice. At that time, they only thought that okay, if someone eats you, it happens. But no. In this world, the way the quirk work, all the quirks work, is that for all of them, if someone take these spinal juices, you just need to inject it into someone, or someone just needs to eat it, drink it, whatever, and you will lose the power, while the other one will gain it. So you lose the power, you don't need to be eaten by someone to basically, well, for them to have it, they just need to be injected with your spinal fluid. You cannot inject two people with the same syringe or with the same spinal fluids. It will only go to the first person. Um, so yeah, it cannot multiply. And most of them after that one basically tried to survive, not get discovered. All of them died at some point, and the power got sent to other people over the world. And that's basically how it started and continued. If your spinal fluids get injected or eaten by someone else, they get the power, you lose it. If you die without passing it to anyone, it basically just goes back to someone else. And so, yeah, there's no other Titan that those ones. They still have the healing, they have the same powers. At some point during history, one of the Titan shifters actually discovered um, that they could make crystals. Basically, what was happening was that he was trying, let's say, the card Titan, since he is the weakest, basically saw the plagues on the armored Titan and tried to just replicate them over time. After many months of training, he was basically able to make a crystal-like substance that he could turn his entire body into it or send it around him. And it's practically unbreakable by normal means. Only Titan Crystal can actually break Titan Crystal or the Jaw Titan, which is pretty impressive. Um, as well as if the founding Titan wants, it can force every crystal to break, which is another one of the things that I'm not changing because it's not directly related to controlling a Titan or a specific person. It's basically just, okay, yeah, everything breaks now and it breaks. So it still has that. Because yes, the founding Titan actually can do that. Besides that, all Titan crystal all over the world basically just breaks in a snap of a finger. So yeah. So after all of that, the quirks get passed. Some people find out that you can see the memory of previous users if you actually have the same type of mentality, or that you know exactly how they were thinking. Um, it got passed down, passed down, passed down. But compared to One for All, which when you pass it down, it accumulates power, the Titan Shifters don't. To increase the power of a Titan Shifter, since it doesn't stockpile the power, you basically go back to zero. Or you need to train your own body. Yes, this is a change that I made. Or you have to train your own body, which will increase the speed, strength, and endurance of your own Titan, as well as increase your stamina, which will help keep it for longer. You can do both, or in your human form, or in your Titan form. Later in history, people that had quirk before getting the Titan power discovered that when you transform, your quirk doesn't go into the Titan form, and you cannot use it while being in a Titan form. So yeah, no dual classing for that. So yeah, now we go to our three users that will have Titans. First of all, two of the Titan shifters are hero and won't be talked about in the story because they are at other places. Actually, we won't even see them. The first one is the Colossal, and the second one is the Founding Titan. Those are holding, well, heroes are holding on to them. Um, One of them is called the Colossal, basically. That's the name he decided to give himself. He can only transform once a day, but compared to in the anime, he had many years of training to simply increase his stamina, and he doesn't have the 13 years before dying. So basically, when he transforms, he can hold it for around 30 minutes if he doesn't do the use his muscle to basically create steam. The founding titan, the person basically can just do everything I said, is also a hero, but tries to stay more out of the way of people. When he is absolutely needed, then he actually goes, but that's basically it. And so we get to Shero, the tape guy, Ochako, and Deku. All three of them will get Titan powers. In this one, all three of them are born without quirks. Ochako basically doesn't get bullied because I don't know if she did, and let's just say it didn't happen. Shiro, let's just say same thing. But Deku has the exact same life as he did in the anime. For the two others, basically life just goes well. Sometimes they get a bit bullied, sometimes it's just a bit of fun. Um, so for them, basically, their life happens with both of them wanting to become heroes, being told that if they want to become heroes, they'll have to train hard because they don't have quirks. So those two trains. Then we go to Deku. I'm changing a tiny little something in his character. Even though he is being told that he cannot become a hero, he still trains. So basically, he has around the same muscle mass as Bakugo, and if they were to fight without quirk, Deku would actually be a bit stronger than him. But that's only because he decided to train in this one. He still gets told he's never going to be a hero, but he decided to change his mind and say, I'm going to try to become a hero. If I cannot, I'm going to try and become a police officer. So I still need to be strong. He's still extremely sad that he knows he might never get to be a hero. So on the date where we start, and that everyone laughs at Deku because he left, was trying to get into UA. He just says that, you all have quirks, but I'm stronger physically than half of the class. The only person I'm sure and certain I'm never going to beat is Bakugo right now. So I don't see why you're laughing. Even with your quirk, I can beat you. Which, Bakugo still hates Deku and bullies him because he doesn't have a quirk, but he also knows that this statement is extremely true. So, even when people laugh at Deku, he also bullies him, but he takes his defense by saying, even if he doesn't have a quirk, he's still at least strong physically. So he can still get another job by himself. He's just at that point. He's still really mean, but at least he's just saying, at least he can get a job instead of having an empty dream. Because, yeah, he says it, if I am not able to enter a hero school, I'm just going to go for a police. So, yeah. So, after that happened, Deku left. He was still a bit sad that everyone laughed at him, so he passed by the same way. This time, instead of All Might saving him from the sludge villain, it was the user of it was a Titan Shifter. The attack Titan Shifter, to be more precise. Um, he was able to use Titan Crystal to basically protect Deku by literally blocking the way from the sludge villain, and then basically just grabbed him and kind of made a ball around him. Not, um, well, basically decided to do that and just kind of leave it there. Because let's just say there that because of the Titan powers, special tools were created for police officers and other types of people for when one of the heroes with one of those powers, basically, some police officer knows that it can be passed down, some people only knows that, yeah, there's most of the time nine of them, and since they never all look the exact same, they don't really think about it that much, because that's, well, everyone thinks that, okay, yeah, their power looks similar. They don't know that there's just 9 of them. They think there's more of them that has that type quirk like that. Because over history it was told that giants were there, which is them, well, their quirks. After helping Deku, basically the man untransforms. Deku thinks that it's one of the heroes that has this type of quirk. But when he arrives to look at the person, he basically sees an old man that seems to be close of death, basically. The guy seems to only have a year to live. Which is false, because he has less than that, to be more precise. But yeah. Around those same time, two other people met the holders of two other titans. Um, Basically, in total, out of three, there is one hero and two people that are basically just minding their own business. They were hero before, but now they aren't. Ochako is meeting with the current holder of the um, female titan, and no, she's not Mount Lady. She is um, actually a hero, yes, but basically she retired. She was close to retiring because she was old. All three of them are old, basically close to death in terms of age. They're not six thanks to the quirk, but pretty much, yeah, they're close to that anyway. So, um, basically, for Ochako meeting her, it was basically that the female Titan holder was looking for a successor, just like the Attack Titan holder was looking for a successor, and the Armored Titan holder was looking for a successor. All three of them were basically just kind of looking around to see if people had strong hearts, strong minds, strong bodies, or stuff like that to inherit the power. All three of them knows that the spinal fluids is what you need to give to pass the power over, because like I said, it's not you give the spinal fluids, the person transformed, and he needs to eat you. No, it's you give them the spinal fluids and they get the power automatically. They don't even need to transform for it. So, yeah. Um, for Izuku, the reason he gets it is basically that the Attack Titan holders um, asks, well, sees that Deku is kind of muscular. He asks him if he knows any way of fighting, which Deku says yes because, well, he was still training to at least become a cop if he cannot be a hero, so he needs to know how to fight. So basically, he said that he looked at many videos and stuff like that of karate, judo, and other things like that, which the guy basically thought, yeah, it could be good enough. I can train him in the time I have left after giving him the Titan so that he has a better fighting style. Um, for the female Titan holder, it was basically the same thing. A villain attacked. Ochako tried to protect people even though she didn't have a quirk, which made the female Titan holder think, okay, yeah, she would be a good candidate, and decided to ask her about um, what she would like to be when she grew up. And then we go to Shiro, who basically the Attack Titan holder was just kind of out cold. It looked like he was drunk, but actually it was just that um, he was trying to sleep, but he looked like he had a problem. So Shiro tried to help him, to bring him to a hospital or something like that, and the guy basically just explained to him that, well, that he was just old and that he was looking for a successor, didn't have time, and asked him if he wanted to have a power. So yeah, for Shiro, it was basically just that the guy didn't have anything else to do. So Shiro accepted. The armored titan holder basically trained him after giving him the fluids. So now Shiro can transform. Shiro was trained to use Titan Crystal and a specific way of fighting that basically takes in consideration the armor plating and the crystal he can add on top of that. Deku was trained in different martial arts, as well as to increase his strength after receiving the Attack Titan. Um, for Ochako, it was basically the same thing: training, learning to create Titan Crystal. So all three of them has Titan Crystal. Titan Crystal. All three of them has a way of fighting that the previous user was using, and all three of them basically knows about two things: the history of how this quirk was made, well, those quirks were made, that there are 9 of them, and blah blah blah. And the second thing is that if a anyone is able to get your spinal fluids, even if you don't want them to get the quirk, they're going to get it. So be careful with that. The way Deku decided to take that in consideration was turning into a Titan and basically making some type of armor for his back that basically covers a certain part of his body made in Titan crystal, because it's supposed to be dense but light, like it's almost unbreakable even if it's just like a sheet of paper, like thin as that. So he basically just made something to protect his spine and some part of his body, basically like small part of armor. At some point Bakugo decided to fight. Deku told him, okay, if you want, and basically just kind of jumped out the window from their school. Everyone got scared, and then Deku basically turned into a Titan, in the Attack Titan, and just kind of looked at Bakugo and kind of made the sign, come on, come to fight. Which everyone basically realized who it was, and were like, oh shit, he has a quirk! And basically the same too for Ochako. How it happened was at her parents' construction site. She was there at some point. Her dad was trying to do something, and a piece of metal started falling. Everyone got scared. Ochako transformed and catched it, protecting her father, and basically every one of them seeing that she has a quirk now. Them being really happy because, well, now she can be a hero. And for Shiro, it's basically just that at some point he decided to show it off. Just saying, hey, my quirk just came in, and basically transformed. So, yeah, after the time skip, Deku's master, the previous user of the Attack Titan, passed away of old age. The female Titan holder basically did like 4 or 5 last job before passing on the power, and on her last saying that she was retiring. Oh yeah, the Titan holders that are hero are basically cast placed in a second category. Like there's the number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 heroes. And then there was just like the other class just next to it that was basically like that's only for them because their powers are kind of really strong. Like All Might could beat some of them, but not the Titan, the Colossal. He could outmatch him by basically just staying in his form for longer than 30 minutes. But this is basically it. So they decided to basically just kind of place them on the side because they don't really know where they would place. Since they have a time limit and that their physical body, even, well, if they have a quirk, they can use that, but if they don't, it's kind of, yeah. So basically, All Might is still number one. He still got injured. He doesn't have any Titan power, so he didn't heal. And I think the person I wanted to give it to was Bakugo, because I'm trying to find it in the script, but I really can't for some reason. I'm going to go check. Be right back. Okay, yeah, so Bakugo gets one for all. The way he gets it is basically, let's say instead, well, when Deku and the Attack Titan left, let's just say um, there was a crack in the Titan crystal that the Attack Titan didn't fix. So this large villain was able to escape, and it went to attack Bakugo, and then All Might arrived, helped him, and then decided to give the quirk to him. So, except Bakugo and Deku, none of them know each other. They will all meet in the next part. So, hope you liked it. Leave a like if you did. Um, Share the video if you want to. I'll have a link to my Discord in the comment section. So yeah, Natsu, I'll